not telling the full truth. You know, when a medical doctor does that, we call it malpractice.
These are very conservative outlets. Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, Nature Communications, Cryosphere Discussions, these are conservative outlets. So to support the idea that this kind of release is possible is earth-shattering.
That's what you came out here to talk to me about?
Even though medical doctors were doing it 50 years ago with the full support of the medical ethics community, by the way.
I didn't think it would end this way.
End?
And so for us to practice malpractice at this point on the climate front, on the environmental front, I think that falls into the same category. I don't think that's something that we should be doing, but I see it around me all the time.
Death is just another path. One that we all must take.
Why do you have to make even this little thing so difficult?
The grey rain curtain of this world rolls back, and all turns to silver glass. And then you see it.
What? Gandalf. See what?
Darkness took me, and I strayed out of thought and time. The stars wheeled overhead, and every day was as long as a life age of the earth.
Can I tell you something, Tony?
Don't pretend like I got a choice.
That isn't so bad.
No. No, it isn't. But it was not the end. I felt life in me again. I've been sent back until my task is done.
2 Allen's shark fin soup and to a wonderful day.
Here, here.
Cheers.
Gandalf.
And it's not just because of the way it makes people feel.
A drink never hurt nobody. You just remember the great words of Joey Lewis.
Think about hospice as an example.
He says, you're not drunk if you can lay on the floor without holding on.
Fucking gangster asshole!
When individuals are in hospice, they tend to become fully honest. They complete relationships in their lives by being honest, not by lying to people. And I've heard of essentially 0 examples in which people who are in hospice and they're dealing with their family members, that they're sitting around lying to each other. I don't hear of that happening. Instead, I hear of people telling the full truth, completing those relationships. It's difficult for me to imagine somebody who is about to take their last breath and they know it, and they choose to lie to the loved ones around them.
Right.
So I think we're in a very similar situation, albeit at the planetary scale. So the scale is daunting, to say the least, but I don't think it's a bad analogy in any event for where we are and where we're headed.
Call the police.
Just turn it down again when the police boat comes.
I see so many millennials, so many young people after I speak who are skipping across the presentation hall. They are liberated by what they know to be true, but which nobody has ever told them before.
It's my favorite atmosphere.
Co-starred.
He can keep paying those $200 fines forever, Alan.
And so it's interesting you bring up the professor who ponders whether we should hold class and continue to tell the lies, that we have an infinite growth paradigm at work here, that all is going to turn out great forever, because after all, it's done that for my life. So
I love Bacon's every moment. When I
So the choices between that are going to the beach. But I don't think those are the two choices. I think we need to ask Everybody, no matter what their age is, what do you love? It was just over 10 years ago that I walked away from a privileged position as a university professor.
Mm-hmm.
And shortly thereafter, I realized I'd made a horrible mistake. I was attempting to extend my own run and that of the woman dearest to me in my life. And I didn't know about the aerosol masking effect because very little had been published on the topic at that point. I failed to realize that the 450 some nuclear power plants around the world would melt down catastrophically in the wake of civilization's demise. And so in not thinking about those two things, one of which was unknown to me and the other is, our brain.
It's because my girl's right here.
What are you going to do? I just failed to take any of those into account, and my life was essentially destroyed in terms of what I loved to do. I loved interacting with young people. I loved teaching in college classrooms. I was really quite good at it, and now I'm unable to do it for the rest of my life. And that's, from my perspective, that's just pure tragedy. So I would encourage people to do what they love.
So if there's nothing more to do, should we just all go out and have a steak dinner and buy an SUV and drive across the country in a 6,000-pound diesel?
Yeah, that's not my approach, but I suspect some people are using my message to conclude that, yes. As I've been saying for more than 10 years now in public, I think that we need to take right action and not be attached to the outcome.
Why do you linger here when there is no hope?
There is still hope.
Hope is the four-letter word for people who are unwilling to know things for what they are. Our time requires us to be hope-free, to burn through the false choice of being hopeful and hopeless. They are two sides of the same coin.
We need you here.
Would you destroy it?
And I would add to that only that grief recovery is required to proceed. In addition to entering the stages of grief, we must recover from grief as well. But first, if we're fully cognizant of what's going on in our world, we better be grieving. We better be grieving for the planet we're destroying, for the 200 species a day we're driving to extinction, for our own near-term demise. If we aren't grieving about that, then I think that puts into question our mental health.
Hide here, quick! Come on! He's leaving.
In his book, Man's Search for Meaning, between a stimulus and a response, there is a space. In that space is the power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. The last of human freedoms is to choose one's attitude in any set of circumstances. And, that means something different for everybody on the planet, obviously.
Get up with that fucking mop!
I really want people to think about this, to think about how you're going to live, to be introspective about the rest of your life, no matter how short it is. I think this is what really matters, and this is why I encourage people to not go to school. Because you never have this conversation in public education system, not ever.
Let us together rebuild this world, that we may share in the days of peace.
Yes.
It seems that every talk about climate change ends with a message of hope. I feel that hope is both irrelevant and counterproductive.
Feel.
You're home early.
It invites complacency and denial.
What are you watching?
We don't need hope. We need resolve. Winston Churchill, in trying to inspire England to fight annihilation by Germany, said, "Sometimes doing your best is not good enough. Sometimes you must do what is required." Winston Churchill didn't mention hope.
And consider that our species has been here for about 315,000 years. We're talking about 10 million years, 30 times the run of our species so far. So until we have a thriving planet to come out to, do you really think we're going to make it that 10 million years? We can't even take care of ourselves.
My expense, you know?
I saw him speak once at an ASCO conference in Georgia. Good man.
But?
Actually, very few people know this, but he really can't walk on water. What was his prognosis?
3 months.
With the treatment you've had?
What do you mean?
That's a lot of food to store, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And we look at what we've done so far. We've completely crashed the planet in a relatively short period of time. I would argue a few thousand years.
We tell a patient 3 months, he lives a year. Who looks like a hero?
We're going to make it 10 million years and come out the other side and we'll be all healed again. And now we're woke, so we aren't going to screw the planet next time.
I'll see you around, John. You take it easy. Hang in there.